Yeah, iRobot did send me. They're sending me the M6 Braava. What's this here? Every once in a while, I like to do a gun check. Many people aren't aware I have guns. They still aren't aware. But no, he's a gun owner now. He's been a gun owner since 2007. Just when I first came back to Canada, there was a short time when I didn't have any guns. This actually is single action, so I don't have to mind the trigger right now because it's single action. 410 with the laser light O-light. Balder Pro. They're one of their best ones, but it's not rechargeable for some reason. You have to get a special light cell. I'll watch how much I'm gosh dang doing it. And you got some Remington cartridges in there too. Remington. Just waiting on my mom to get back because got a big mukbang today. Getting to be pretty big in the mukbang sector. And double Big Mac it is today. I love the double Big Mac. It's unbelievable. Just the Big Mac by itself is unbelievable. Then it's like, hey, you want to be bigger than everyone else? Get the big double Big Mac. You're going to grow bigger than everyone else. I said, all right. I'm joining the giant club. Hey, if you want to be a normal person, just get the normal Big Mac. It's good too. It's got a lot. There's no hate. But anything special usually. And I got to get this out because I said I wanted to put this in the live stream. So I'm going to put it in my pocket. It's none of your business, really. It's for my own personal protection. See, I got my military bag. Yes, my firearms are registered. I got my registered. I got my, whatever the hell that's called. It's a report of the in the registry. My paperwork to go with the firearms that they're legal and registered. It's FRT report showing that, reporting that they are legal and registered with the RCMP. Because in Canada you can either have a PAL or you can have the FRT, which is antique. Any firearm or whatever that would be classified as antique other than shotguns. Or repeating rifles. So you can get any antique revolver. It doesn't really matter. But, so I have the antique revolver. So I guess I'll take it out. We're not even eating right now. So I got this one. And everything like that. But it's scary how many there is. I said that years ago. But if I didn't have it, then there would be ones that would be able to take advantage of me. Even with the antique firearms, people take well advantage. I mean, just the other night, people were taking advantage, and I didn't. You don't feel safe. They say they're going to come in just because they seen you eating McDonald's on your YouTube channel, and they're having a hunger binge, and they just come in and say, give it up or die. But thanks to the firearms and the law that keeps us safe, it doesn't matter what you look like. If you have everything's in proper order and you're of good mind, soul, and everything the other, then you should be able to legally bear arms, and the criminals just can't have them because the criminals are even up here in Canada. And it was the same criminals getting away with it year after year after year. And they just got normal with it. They got used to it. Getting away with it. But they're not getting away with it as much anymore. They targeted me once or whatever. We went to court and they're unable to target me again because it all has to do with your wealth and all that. With your money and your food. And nobody in their right mind is going to go do a bad thing for a small amount of food money or whatever. When they know they'll get stopped in their tracks when it comes to a legal gun owner. They're not just gonna. They're only gonna target those small-time criminals that they're not doing any big legal business or anything like that. Because I got to the point, well, I've already been at the point where it's like I said, 2007. Since he's been into business and it's legal and it's big and so big that every once in a while you might deal with a nut, a crackhead. It's even sometimes could be. I've had the Domino's pizza drivers be crackheads or nuts. I've had sometimes, very rarely, it's just, hey, you don't know who's going to be a loose nutter bolt because you had $20 that day and you chose to go get a Big Mac or a pizza or something. And that's what you decided to buy. And I don't know you really, but hey, you can have a slice if you weren't stabbing me. Because they're that crazy. Like, hey, I don't mind speaking English, and if you want a slice, I can give you one or whatever the case may be. But these people are not speaking English. They're just trying to do robberies, and you can sense it once you get smart with it or whatever. Uh-oh, this person's trying to make a big lick out of it, out of nothing. You just got to watch that. But they never succeed because when you have your apartment, and just like the government said before, I never understood it. Oh, you got to have your apartment first. And then if anything bad happens, you get in your apartment, you lock the door, you go to the bedroom. And then if somebody's trying to hurt you for no reason, because it's a whole process. The criminals that have gotten away with it time and time again, they think it's this instantaneous, but that's only when somebody's completely vulnerable and they're just scared, and then they come and get you and take advantage, and they take everything that you have. And if you haven't learned that one yet, you're going to get something taken from you. Because once you're able to defend yourself, the criminals won't come after, they can't come after you because they'll get shot. And then the more money you have, police are only issued standard issue, 38 caliber 9mm. So people that make more money than the police, they have even bigger guns. 223 is becoming a standard issue now. So what's a guy supposed to do if he's doing all right and he's doing better mentally or whatever than somebody like that? Because we're all doing mentally better than a lot of folks. But you have to have the money and save it up, and your money is going to prove your opinion. So if you have this big home with some assets or whatever and you're doing good, you better invest into a firearm that says that. And that's what I had to do. I had to buy a $4,000 firearm, a French Moss, 45 caliber. You won't find it for any less than $3,000 or $4,000. Because it was, and it's legal. And guess what they're carrying? Because I got to see little 9mm dinky 5.7 Glock thingies and these little 223s. And my 45 is just as big as a cartridge as a 223. Same with the bullet almost. 223's just got about an inch more with an indentation. It's just as... So I could defeat... And the police were so small to me one time when they were all cracked out. I'm a much larger human. I got to meet some other giant millionaires over in Teeswater. And they were giant millionaires. And we're a lot bigger than we love our normal humans. And I always went to school with the normal sized ones and whatever. But we always knew we were bigger and yada yada. We had a little more money and we were just bigger in size. And they were smaller in size. And guess what? It's like a certain thing. But guess what? There's a lot of big people and there's a lot of small people. There's just as much big people as there is small. And there's bigger guns than the small, because the small people have a small appetite. So they only appetize up to a 38 or something. And the big time guys appetize all the way up to a 50 cal or missiles or whatever. Because when you're talking government, they have missile capabilities, or they have, I have friends that have airplane capabilities and Navy and U.S. Marine and Army capabilities other than firearms. These standard police do not have those. They're just standard street cops. So as long as you don't allow them to... See, I am the controller of this property here. But anything that happens elsewhere, it has to do with each individual property holder. So whoever is renting next door, they can... But if you can't come or let anybody else in here, this is mine. So that is a big, big right. Because once they cross that, it doesn't matter. In court, whatever... That's the thing. That's why they have no control in my life, or they don't have any control in your life legally. It's a right on Google. Search up. Do you have to answer the door for the police? No, you do not. Because when you do, you open up a whole new right of worms and things. It's not about saying no to the police directly in their face, because they could take that as provocation and hurt you, or do some, or come up with some, and next thing you know, you're in jail or hurt or dead or beat up or dead or beat up. So you have to completely not answer at all. That's your legal right. And then they'll lose some energy and they'll realize they're just a normal human being and that they're at somebody else's home. They're not at their home that they can, because they feel like they're God. If you let them in, let them in, let them in. Then they are God, and but not in, and you're wondering, why are other people rich? How come other people are have this and have that and I don't? Well, because you're on the wrong side of things. You're not educated. You're still not educated to who they are and who those people are to affect your life. Oh, they're very oppressive. Even after you own a gun and you learn how to use it, you still feel scared that when you have to use it, you're going to have to go to court and prove yourself. But at least you're not dead. And until you can flex that right, they won't leave you alone. And then once you flex that right, like, hey, I have the very expensive gun. If you do come inside, and you don't say it or nothing, you have to be very quiet. But if they do come in and then they're right in front of you to try to kill you, like a Breonna Taylor. If Breonna Taylor had a big gun, she was able to save up for it if she had a job, or if her family was wealthy and they saved up the money or whatever, and they bought her the most expensive rifle that she needed, and she never did anything wrong. When those police entered that apartment, she could have shot and killed those police. All you have to do is shoot them in their head. They only wear a uniform vest or whatever. And then when you go to court, if so, or what have you, because you should have lawyers tell them it's self-defense, self-defense. Well, you kill as many officers as you can that are not agreeing with what you're saying, if it's really self-defense. If there's still more intruders coming, and they're going against, and you never did anything wrong, then do not stand down. Make sure you kill, and kill every single one. And then the courts will process and say, hey, this is the homeowner, he never did anything wrong, or else you will die. And if you can't kill, if you don't have the firepower to kill all those, say like 5 or 10 at most officers, that's what it is. 5 or 10 gang up and they might come and try to get you. If you can't kill at least 5 of them, then you might as well just go turn yourself in jail, is how it is now. Just like they said, oh, it's going to be all military. No. It's going to be this military industrial complex. That's how it is. But once you're a gun owner and you have it ready to go, you order a pizza and they're savagely coming. Very rarely do that, but it's happened once or twice, where they're just smelling. You can just sense somebody outside or somewhere smelling that you have a pizza tonight and you feel and all that. Well, once you have your gun, you have it near you, and they get scared and run off. It doesn't matter who they are. They could be 4 police. There could be 4 police coming up with a scheme with girls, like naked girls. Because that's what's happened to me before. With naked girls. And everybody's usually terrified. They're going to die from the Nazis. Because there's naked girls that are horny, and they're telling the police, hey, if you arrest this person for no reason and do this to them and do that to them. And that happens to some people, but not me. Because I have my legal 45. Even the fucking police are scared of the 45. They have standard issue 38. This is 6 calibers upsize what the police have. 6 calibers upsize. And that's just my 45. And then I have a sidearm 32, which is very powerful in itself as well. And then I have a shotgun as well. So I'm like a fucking level corporation when you start to live in it. Because when you start to do business, you know, I learned everything that you can learn in school for business. But I will recommend this if you're into college or you're into like learning, whether you're learning yourself or whether you are going to school. Tie in like a military or a police or something like that in to go with your business or security, because then you learn the business on how to make money, how to do your finances, how to account, do your accounting, your investing, your stocks, whatever, your business, or your whether you're selling stuff or whether you're working for somebody or for a company or for a corporation or whatever, or school. What was I saying? Yeah, once you're working for a corporation, something about stocks. You're gonna have to pull that back. I had it going there for a minute, and then my brain just stopped for a minute. Something about your stocks and